Welcome to Tying Michigan's Best Trout Flies. Today we're going to be tying a Sulphur Para Emerger. So let's get started. We're tying a Sulphur Para Emerger, and I've just put in a standard size 16 dry fly hook to do that. And I'm going to use some orange 6/0 thread. So let's start the thread. We'll take it about halfway down, and then we'll bring it back to our post position where we're going to attach a white deer hair post, just a little section of deer hair, and we're going to post it about the length of the shank, attaching it right on top with a couple of firm wraps about twice. Now we're in position. We can reach in with our scissors and trim that on an angle. That always makes it easier to deal with this when it's cut on an angle. We'll lift our post up and take a few wraps to stand that up. Now we're going to post it using the method that I've been using over the years, where I put my thread into my left hand, hold the post with my right, bring the thread around with my left, and capture it with the middle finger on my right hand, continuously doing that until I have it posted. And you can do that probably with on a fly this size, maybe 6 or 7 wraps. That's all it takes. And now we just bind down our excess, and we have our post in place. Now we're going to make the tail out of just some barred ginger hackle, like that, just a section of that. So we'll get a nice thick section, because the tail on this actually is going to be more like part of a trailing shuck. So I use a heavier than normal section of that, and we'll just take that off, pull that off, and tie it in just slightly longer than the hook shank, maybe like that. Measure it back to where we want to tie it in. We can cut it off right there, then we don't have anything else to deal with. Right behind the post, snug that down, take it to the back, all the way to the bend. Now we've got that in place. And now we're going to dub it with I'm just using yellow dubbing, and just a little bit for a size 16 hook, and we're going to dub it all the way and beyond in front of the post as well. So let's put that on and just apply that as we always do, with just overhand wraps up to the post and in front. And now, to complete the emerger part of this fly, we already have a rather thick tail here. But I'm going to add a little sprig of deer hair. I'm going to show you what we're going to do with this. Just a little section of dark deer hair, maybe from a hide like that. Small section. We'll cut that off, and we're going to put that on behind the post so that the tips of the deer hair come down at least halfway beyond the bend of the hook, halfway down the tail assembly. And we'll trim that right there. Attach that right behind the wing of the post. And when we get near the bend of the hook, we'll just pull down a little bit, and you notice those the tail ends will flare up. That's what we want. I'll take the thread back to in front of the post, and there we're going to attach our hackle. And I'm using a barred ginger hackle. I know most people use some dun hackle on sulphurs, but I tie what I see in nature, and this is more like what I see. So I'm using a barred ginger hackle, and we'll just get that ready to tie it in right behind the post with a couple of wraps to secure it. And then we can put our parachute hackle on, starting from the top of that little pathway we created. Then we wrap our hackle down in successive wraps, each wrap going beneath the previous one, until we've got whatever you want on there. Usually maybe 4 or 5 wraps is sufficient for a little fly like this. And snug it up, and then you can just hold this out of the way to tie it down. Trim that out. And we're going to whip finish in the same way. Whip it off, and you're all done. Groom that a little bit. Trim any errant fibers, and there's your Sulphur Para Emerger. And we hope to see you the next time.